Allergy season is upon us, but what does that really mean? And better yet, when will it end? For anyone who suffers from all the joys that come with pollen and ragweed, we have an expert here to help guide us today. So I'd like to welcome back Dr. David Houseworth with Ohio ENT and Allergy physician. So good to see you again.
Nice to see you, Robin. Thanks for having me.
Let's start with kind of a rundown. How is this allergy season looking right now?
We've had a pretty rough season so far. Tree pollen came out early. We had that nice warm spring that everybody really enjoyed, but it started the trees early, and it's kind of continued right through into the grass pollen that's starting right now.
And we always hear, I mean, we heard this last year a lot, I feel like, this is the worst allergy season ever. Is this it? Have we already seen it? What are we looking at for that?
Right. You know, what makes it the worst allergy season ever, it depends on what bothers you. And if you're bothered by tree pollen, people have had a lot of problems this year. Grass pollen, yet to be seen. It's just starting to rise. So it's hard to tell, is it the worst year ever? It doesn't matter. If you're bothered by allergies, it's bad for you. And what we're trying to do is get people to take care of their symptoms. There's no need anymore for people to suffer. I mean, there's so many good options out there to take care of allergies.
And we'll talk about all the options in a second, but you mentioned some of the things that are happening right now, the ragweed, the pollen. So how does somebody know first and foremost what they're allergic to?
The easiest way to know what you're allergic to is to have allergy testing and to find out, is it an indoor trigger? Is it something like your dog or your cat, or is it outside? Is it tree pollen, mold spores, grass pollen, weeds? And allergy testing is really pretty simple, so there's no reason not to know what you're allergic to so that you can kind of attack allergies with some knowledge.
And is the skin test that we all kind of have known, is that still kind of the standard for testing?
Skin testing is very easy these days. We use a needleless system that has basically little plastic toothpicks. And I tell an adult that it feels just like pushing your fingernails into your skin. And in 15 minutes, we can tell what you're sensitive to. So it's pretty easy.
It is pretty simple. I've had it done. Yeah, it doesn't hurt, doesn't take much time.
Right.
So get it done. Okay, so let's talk about those treatment options. First of all, over the counter, all these different names and things.
Right.
How do we know what works for us?
There are a lot of over-the-counter options now. You have antihistamines, pills that you can take, and we know names like Zyrtec and Claritin and Allegra and Benadryl, and those work really well for some people. There are nasal sprays, Flonase and Rhinocort and Nasacort, and those are good options for over-the-counter treatment. Many of the people don't take the medications long enough, and they need a little bit of time to get going.
Yeah.
But if they're not working, that's when we end up seeing the people. The patients who take Allegra, take Claritin, and it doesn't help them, those are the ones where we can really step in and help.
And a lot of the ways you can step in, we talk about allergy shots. So is that mostly for more severe problems, or is it just maybe if the other things aren't working?
We move on to allergy shots or immunotherapy when the medicines aren't working, when we want to decrease what we're allergic to, when we want to take our allergies down a few levels. We use allergy shots to make people less allergic. And we use them when asthma is a problem. When people are wheezing or having asthma problems, immunotherapy or allergy shots can reduce asthma triggers and thereby reduce lung problems. And so it can be helpful for many different things.
And what about doing something that doesn't involve medication? Do we have some options that'll help us?
Yeah, nobody wants to take medicine.
Right.
Nobody wants to have to take medicine every day. And there are environmental control options. If your triggers are inside, we can do things like dust mite control, where you can put covers around the mattress and you can wash your sheets weekly in hot water, things that you can do, and those are helpful. And for a few people, those are really good options. With pollens, you can kind of limit your exposure during the peak pollen times, maybe not early in the morning when pollen levels are out, should you go out for a run. But for a lot of people, environmental control is not quite enough, and that's when we like to step in and help.
Okay, and of course, you can do that the best way. Go get tested, like you said. Ohio ENT and Allergy, we have the phone number on screen, the website. Very easy to come in and set that up, right?
Yeah.
All right. Dr. Houseworth, thanks for being with me.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.